let's do this. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the edition of the Uper Farmer Cigar. We're in the garage today. I really got to get back out to the deck, to the porch. The beautiful views, beautiful sights. Why didn't I? Why aren't I? Because I tore apart my outdoor setup to do that video in the pool, and I have yet to put it back together. We're going to explain why this video is called we're going to be talking about pivoting, but I just could not get the equipment put back together, the tripod and whatnot, and the other stuff for shooting outside. So my garage setup just stays set up. I very rarely touch or move this setup. Due to having to quickly pivot, we're in the garage today, which is fine. I got the doors open. Beautiful sunny day, and it looks like it's a little windy out. So we'll say I was shooting in here to cancel out some of that noise artifact. First off, welcome. I got a bunch of new subscribers. My last video actually went quote unquote viral. So welcome if this is your first time here or you're new to this channel, because there are a few of you. Just a real quick description. So I have 7 children. I like to smoke cigars. I like to drink beer. And the thing is that I have to take care of my children, me and homeschooling mama. So this is a way for me to steal away 30 minutes to about 2 hours once a week, where I can kind of just enjoy a nice cigar, enjoy a fancy beer, and just kind of talk about what's on my mind. Oh, my chair is really weird. Maybe my kids moved my chair. There we go, that's better. Kind of just talk about what's on my mind. These are not planned, they're organic. Oh, there's a handful, I'll take that back. There are a handful that are planned. Sometimes I'll do short little series. I was a paramedic for 20 years, so I share those stories. But mostly, whatever's on my mind, just shortly before, once I press record, that's what we're talking about. Before we get too far into this, what are we smoking? What are we drinking? From Drew Estates, Undercrown, their Shade Edition. If you don't know anything about cigars, shade-grown tobacco is a little bit of a lighter, smoother tobacco. Your Connecticut's can be shade-grown. They're just very, very smooth, very mild flavor. I'm actually a big fan of shade-grown and Connecticut cigars. I know, weird. I talk about how long I've been smoking cigars. Usually the longer you smoke, the darker and darker your cigar gets. But I just like a cigar that I can sit down with and enjoy and not be overwhelmed with flavor. Just kind of kick back and relax a little bit. For the drink tonight, Teddy Bear Kisses from Upland Brewing. It's a Russian Imperial Stout. Aged on, Coca. I didn't even see that. Okay. Midwest Michigan. Is this actually a Michigan beer? Indiana. All right, Bloomington, Indiana beer. Upland Brewing. I think this is your first time on my channel, so welcome. We're going to try your Teddy Bear Kisses. Russian Imperial Stout, aged on Coca. Okay, so it wasn't barrel-aged. I did a whole series where I drank nothing but barrel-aged stouts, or barrel-aged beers, trying to find if there were actual barrel-aged beers. A lot of the ones I taste, the barrel does it no favors. We did find a couple. The barrel did complement the beer nicely. But by and large, the barrel age is not something maybe it's just brewers need to work on it. I've never found a barrel aged. Well, I take that. I found 2 barrel aged were pretty good. Most of them left me with wanting. But Cocayo, I wonder if that's that Brazilian wood. There's a Brazilian wood. It adds a lot of flavor to spirits. Let's take a try. See, that's not bad. That's not barrel aged. I didn't say barrel aged. I think it's aged with those wood chips. I think that's the Brazilian wood that actually has like a toffee smell. That's actually really good. That has a nice. It's a thick stout, so you're kind of ready for that thick stout taste, but it's really smooth drinking. Great head on it. Nice dark beer. Well done, Upperland. Well done. Welcome to the Uber Farmer vlog here. I'm going to try more of your beers. I'll Google that later. I'm pretty sure, though, that's the Brazilian wood. Some whiskey companies and bourbon companies are making aging their spirits, and it's supposed to have just this unique, wonderful flavor. Well done, Upland. That was a good choice. That actually, whatever you aged that in, yeah, aged on. So you probably put it in a regular barrel. I'm guessing those are wood chips that you aged on. That was a good choice. I like that stout. So thank you for proving me wrong. Apparently, you can add wood to a beer. I might search that word out, but I'll try to remember to put a little description of what that is. But well done. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about pivoting. You either love it or you hate it. It's when stuff goes sideways suddenly and you all of a sudden have to change plans on a fly and do something new. Now, being in EMS, I have to admit, 20 years in EMS, like I talked about in the intro, I I actually love pivoting. I love flying by the seat of my pants. I love having a solid plan, but then being ready to modify that super quickly. Not to toot my own horn, but I will. I'm really good at it. I'm really good at quickly pivoting, changing what we have to do, changing our plan, abandoning the old one, and going to a new one. This week has been, I've been pivoting so much, I'm dizzy. As I've talked about before, I work for the state of Michigan, and I had to do a bunch of work in the field this week, and everything went to pots. We had to quickly change our travel plans. We had to change our approaches. We had issues come up in the community. We found out that our software we were sent out with was not talking to the state system. So we had to quickly find pencil and paper. Spoiler alert, I had some on me because you don't go out into the field doing field work without having some plan B, C, D, so on. And if you guys seen Leverage, you go all the way to Plan M where Hardison dies. So we had to pivot a lot for work. It was 2 days of really kind of making up the rules as we went. It was 2 days of trying to figure out how best we could still accomplish our objectives, but at the same time, not get completely burnt out and not get to the point where we lost focus of what was important. I'm going to say that we did well. The team did extraordinarily well. We did accomplish our objectives. It was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of interesting people. Again, a lot of my job is sitting behind a desk, but when I can get out into the field, good Lord, that's where I want to be. I want to be out there with people in the heat of it. That's my EMS days coming through and through. So, that's, I enjoy that. I do enjoy the pivot. So that alone would have constituted this video being shot. But of course, if you guys watch my videos, there's a plot twist. The next plot twist comes in. We are getting another exchange student. Watch out. We are going to have a long-form video with all my children talking about their expectations. This is what we did with our Brazilian exchange student that we had. We're going to talk to them and kind of give them a little interview. They get to sit down. They get to have some pop, which is a rarity in this house for them to have some sort of sugary pop. So they're going to get to have that. Dad will not be smoking his signature cigars. I try very hard not to smoke around my children. And I encourage them not to smoke. But, anyhow, we had to pivot with our exchange students. So, if you've never been a part of the exchange program, one of the first things you have to do is you have to get the school that says they will accept them. Sadly, our local school the principal does not like exchange students. And she has bluntly said as much, that if it was up to her, they would never take another exchange student again. And she's trying to make it up to her, causing so many headaches, so much trouble, so much pain. So it came time, we went the traditional route. We asked her, we were cordial, we were very nice. Quickly, we realized, okay, it's time for a pivot. We threatened to go to the board, to the school board. Spoiler alert, we are going to go to the school board at the end of the year. We don't want to do it before that, just because we don't want our exchange student to suffer. It's a small town we live in. There will be retaliation if we are to speak up beforehand. So we're going to get through this exchange student, go to the board, voice our concerns, because especially in a small town like this, we need exchange students. We need to bring in people who have differing worldviews. A lot of people in the UP are not going to travel. They may never get outside of the state. I know a few people who barely get outside their county ever, because they everything they need is very localized. And they're from a small town. They like being from a small town. There's nothing wrong with that. I grew up in a small town. I'm growing my kids up in a small town. But there is that point that, they need exposures. When our Brazilian student came, oh my goodness. The students at the school were they loved every minute of it. They made good friends with him. We were a little nervous because being in a small town, in a rural community, racism is a thing. And having a Brazilian who, he doesn't look like anyone else in the school. Not to mention, he was over 6'6", I think, 6'5". We were nervous about there being discrimination and racism. There was not. The student population absolutely invited. There were 3 exchange students that year. Absolutely invited all of them into their homes, into their hearts. Instant friendships that are still lasting. We still have other students that we bump into, or the parents of students, asking us when we're going to get the next student, because it was just such a powerful and amazing experience. But we had to pivot. And we're still pivoting now. We're kind of in a deadline. School starts in 2 weeks, and normally they're supposed to get here 2 weeks before school start. So we are calling in favors from friends. We're contacting people we know who are supposed to give us references and can kind of talk on our character, because that's what's holding it up currently. We're answering forms. We're threatening to go to the school boards. Hopefully, all is sorted by Monday or Tuesday. The application should finally be processed, and we should be able to talk to our exchange student and start getting some planning going. And get this ball rolling so we can get our exchange student here, which, again, everyone in the family super excited. We just can't wait to get our exchange student here. Hopefully we can get her on the camera too, so she can talk to you guys. Lots of fun. Now, if it's just those 2 things, it would definitely constitute the pivot video being talked about. But lo and behold, 7 o'clock this morning, homeschooling mama gets a call from her sister. My father-in-law, her dad, is having some possible staph infection in his legs. Some sort of gangrene, some sort of infection. It all of a sudden overnight swelled up to 2 or 3 times its normal size. It's purple. It's got a little funk to it. So, not good. Homeschooling mama's mother needs assistant, needs someone to take care of her every day. So, we got the call. We got Little Man. We got Fairy Dancer. They helped load homeschooling mama up, jumped in the car, took off. So now Dad gets to pivot again continuously. We got kids to take care of. We got next week, we got people to get to work. We got farmers markets. I've got projects at work I have to do. So it was supposed to be a pretty chill week next week. When this video comes out, this will actually be Fair Week. for the UP State Fair. We tend to go to that. We have some, with work, I have some events and whatnot that I do. But time to pivot. Time to see what we can do. It's time to see do what you can with what you got. If you're at all kind of curious about how can I learn to pivot, just remember those words. Do what you can with what you got. Don't worry about what you don't have. Don't worry about what you can't do. Worry about what you can do and what you have to accomplish that mission. Yeah, would it be nice if homeschooling mama's brothers and sisters lived a little bit closer? I could help out, sure, but they don't. So don't whine and cry about how we wish there was more help. What do we have? Well, I work from home, so I can take care of the kids. Little man likes to travel, so he's good to go. Fairy Dancer is great at helping to take care of little man, and she will be great at helping to take care of grandma. Good, she can go. Will it be tricky to get some of my work done? Yep. Can I skirt some of that work off to other my colleagues? Of course. Can I maximize my time and try to minimize my effort on projects? They'll still get done. They'll get done to the quality that is acceptable to the state. Yep, I can do that. Would I rather have to take the whole week off and take sick time? Yeah, I'd love that. Am I going to? No, I don't have to. I could pivot there, but you know what? I can still be productive and get done what I need to get done. So let's do the pivots. Will some stuff have to be put by the wayside? Of course. That's just something, when you have to start pivoting, you got to prioritize. Prioritize what's most important. Prioritize what's next important. Prioritize where your resources are best spent. I have a tabling event where I can potentially get in contact with a few thousand people. And I have a report that probably no one at the state is going to read. Which one should I give priority and which one should I slack off on? Spoiler alert, I'm not doing that report this week. Nothing vital will happen. If I don't finish, I'll get a stern talking to. Whoops. Okay, well, that happens. Am I going to get fired? No, probably not. So yeah, that's what pivoting is. Again, for some people, it is the most soul-shattering, horriblest, worstest, no good thing you can do. And I feel for you. I respect that. I believe I used to be there when I was younger. But I've been doing EMS since I was 17 years old. I was kind of a cadet EMS when I was 16. I've known pivoting more in my life. I've known how to fly by the seat of your pants, how to quickly change your plan, assess what resources you do and don't have, and then go from there. Is it going to be the greatest good thing, bestest thing you ever did? No, probably not. Sometimes it turns out better. It turns out a lot better. There's a fun little meme. If I can find it, I'll put it up here. Hopefully it doesn't get flagged for copyright. It has some guys, they're about to storm this. It's a comic strip from a comic book. Some guys are about to go in. They said, all right, do we have a plan B? Yeah, plan B, we just go in and shoot everyone. And the other person says, ooh, I like plan B. Can plan B be our plan A? Sometimes when you pivot, things turn out better than you expected. Not always. Sometimes it turns out a lot worse. A lot worse. But do what you can with what you got. And don't fret about what you don't have and what you can't do. I know, easy for me to say, hard for other people to do. I respect that. Well, anyway, folks, this one's going a little long. We're going 20 minutes here. I'm going to go enjoy my cigar. Think about how else I can pivot this week to get done what I need to get done. Welcome to those new people here. Please stay safe out there. We'll see you on the next one.